Indian Administrative Service Officer Shah Faesal, who resigned from the services in 2019, has been reinstated. His resignation in January 2019 had not been accepted by the government. There was pending investigation into some of his posts on social media. The Ministry of Home Affairs, which is the cadre controlling authority for the Arunachal Pradesh, Goa, Mizoram and Union Territories, Agmat cadre, had sought the opinion of the Jammu and Kashmir administration regarding his plea to withdraw his resignation. And after receiving reports from all quarters apart from the Department of Personnel and Training, the department that looks after the IAS, it was decided to accept his plea and later reinstated earlier this month. Shah Faesal hails from a remote village of Lolab in North Kashmir, whose father was killed by terrorists in 2002. Faesal had topped the UPSC exam in 2009. He was detained at Delhi airport on the intervening night of 14-15 August 2019 and sent back to Srinagar and kept in custody. He was booked under the Public Safety Act in February 2020, which was revoked after 4 months. Faesal, who was the first UPSC topper from Jammu and Kashmir, had earlier indicated his return to government services. In a series of tweets, he talked about his idealism in 2019 when he resigned from government services to join politics. Now, what are the rules that apply when an IAS officer chooses to resign? A resignation is a formal intimation in writing by an officer of his or her intention or a proposal to leave the IAS either immediately or at a specified date in the future. The Department of Personnel gives the guidelines, and it is this Department of Personnel which is the cadre controlling department for the IAS. According to it, resignation has to be clear and unconditional, and the resignation of an officer of any of the 3 All India services, Indian Administrative Service, the Indian Police Service and the Indian Forest Service, is governed by Rule 5.1 and 5.1a of the All India Services Death cum Retirement Benefits Rule 1958. There are similar rules for resignation of officers belonging to the other central services as well. An officer serving in a cadre, state, must submit his or her resignation to the Chief Secretary of the state. An officer who is on central deputation, on central duty, is required to submit his or her resignation to the Secretary of the concerned ministry or department. The ministry or department then forwards the officer's resignation to the concerned state cadre along with its comments or recommendations. What happens after the resignation is submitted? The state checks to see if any dues are outstanding against the officer as well as the vigilance status of the officer is checked, whether any cases of corruption or there is any pending investigation against him or her. In case there is such a case, the resignation is normally rejected. Before forwarding the resignation to the central government, the concerned state is supposed to send information on the issues of dues and vigilance status along with its recommendation. The central government then checks whether the concerned officer had executed any bond, if he or she had signed any bond to serve the government for a particular period of time or had signed the bond to serve in lieu of the training that he or she got, specialized training or a fellowship or a scholarship for studies, because sometimes in services officers get scholarship or specialized training sent abroad for training. The resignation of the officer is considered by the competent authority, that is, the central government, only after the recommendation of the concerned cadre has been received. The competent authorities are Minister of State at the Department of Personnel and Training in respect of the IAS, the Minister for Home Affairs in respect of the Indian Police Service, the Minister for Environment, Forest and Climate Change in respect of the Forest Service. Is an IAS officer allowed to withdraw a resignation that has already been submitted? Rule 5.1a I of the amended DCRB rule says that the government may permit an officer to withdraw his/her resignation in the public interest. An amendment was made in the rule in 2011. It states that the period of absence from duty between the date on which the resignation became effective and the date on which the member is allowed to resume duty as a result of permission to withdraw the resignation is not more than 90 days. Also, the request for withdrawal of resignation shall not be accepted by the central government where a member of the service resigns from his or service or post with a view to be associated with any political party or any organization. Under what circumstances the withdrawal of an officer's resignation is accepted? The guideline says that if an officer who has submitted his or her resignation sends an intimation in writing withdrawing it before its acceptance by the competent authority, the resignation will be deemed to have been automatically withdrawn. Shah Faesal, who left the services and formed the Jammu and Kashmir People's Movement Party, was clearly active in politics, and that was the reason that he was detained under the stringent Public Safety Act soon after the revocation of the special status of the erstwhile state of Jammu and Kashmir. Although he was released after 4 months, and soon after his release, Shah Faesal left politics and began to give indications of his desire to rejoin government services. This move can be seen as effort by the central government to build good faith and trust among the people in Jammu and Kashmir. What are your views regarding reinstatement of Shah Faesal? You can post your comment and we can discuss about it. Till then, see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.